See, all my news feed is like things with like technology based stuff mostly.
Man wrongly convicted in lookalike case to receive $1 million settlement. Under the settlement, the Kansas man was granted a certificate of innocence and will receive counseling and health care through the state for 2 years. The settlement requires final approval by the state council. This is in Kansas. Kansas has agreed to pay $1.1 million to a man who spent 17 years in prison after being wrongfully convicted of a robbery that he says was committed by someone who looks just like him. Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt said Tuesday that a settlement was reached Monday with 42-year-old Richard Anthony Jones of Kansas City, Missouri. Schmidt said Jones is the first person to agree to a settlement payout under a new state law that provides compensation to people who are wrongly imprisoned. 2 other mistaken conviction lawsuits are pending in Kansas. We are committed to faithfully administering this new mistaken conviction statute the legislature enacted, Schmidt said in a news release. In this case, it was possible on the existing record to resolve all issues quickly, satisfy all of the statute's requirements, and agree to the outcome so Mr. Jones can receive the benefits to which is he entitled by law because he was mistakenly convicted. Eyewitnesses' testimony sent Jones to prison for an attack and robbery in the parking lot of a Walmart in Roland Park, Kansas. No physical evidence linked Jones to the crime, and he always maintained his innocence. He was freed after supporters found evidence that another man who looked just like him lived near the Walmart. His lawyer with the Midwest Innocence Project and Paul E. Wilson Defender Project at the University of Kansas presented the other man at a June 27th hearing. After the victims and witnesses withdrew their identification of Jones, Johnson County District Judge Kevin Moriarty ordered Jones' release. While not saying the other man committed the crime, Moriarty found that based on the new evidence, no reasonable juror would have convicted Jones. The other man, known as Ricky, testified at the hearing that he did not commit the robbery. So, if you were imprisoned falsely for 17 years, there's the man's picture.
Jeez.
Well, the 2 men.
Well, I can tell you why he was convicted.
Go ahead.
Just look at him.
Good black.
Yeah, because that's the way our system works.
Yeah.
He looks scary. We got to get him behind bars.
Yeah. Well, and
Fuck
because there were eyewitness people that said, yeah, I saw him, so he did it. He's the one.
So
I saw him.
Fucked up that our judicial system is based so heavily
on eyewitness account,
which is literally the worst evidence that you can make.
I mean, I think this is pretty good proof that it's pretty faulty to try to rely on eyewitness account.
It's so disgusting, our system.
Yeah. If you were falsely imprisoned for... Too slow for you. What up, bro? What's happening? I had to get close because your name... We've got dark mode on our screen and your name is blue. So, kind of blends in. But thanks for joining us. So, Shawn, if you were falsely imprisoned for 17 years... because you looked like somebody that committed a crime, would you settle for $1 million?
Fuck no.
Not a chance.
That doesn't even come close. Like, I don't even think. I think in Washington State, because in Washington State there's like a amount you get per day of like false. There's a law regarding that, or a amount.
Right.
It's already like established as a minimum. Where if you're like that you basically get automatically. And this dude needs to straighten up his chin. Anyway,
the dude on the right. Or the dude on the left.
Dude on the left.
Dude on the left's been in prison for 17 years, bro.
I mean, okay, fine. Get a barber.
Spent nearly 17 years in prison for a 1999 robbery. I'd want $1 million per year, minimum.
I don't know what the. I mean, you could probably. I'm sure that's not. I'm sure that's. You probably wouldn't get that, but.
No, I'm sure, but that's what I would fight for, and then we can settle somewhere down the line. I'm not gonna say, yeah, you can give me $1 million because my 17 years is worth more than that.
Yeah.
17 years of my life behind.
That's probably 20 to 25% of my life that you just literally stole from me.
Yeah. And not only the mental anguish you're gonna have to deal with for knowing you spent 17 years in prison for something you didn't do.
You literally ruined that guy's life.
Yes, absolutely.
For the rest of his life, he
and $1 million
has
isn't gonna
25% of his memories of his life are behind a cage and concrete walls.
Right.
Dealing with a you basically. You could compare that to an internment camp.
Right.
A prisoner of war. It's so egregious.
What'd you say?
Egregious.
That's a big word.
Yeah, I know big words.
Good job. Good job.
Sometimes. It's like 3K a day is what Anthony said. I think Anthony might be right on that, or somewhere around that range. So, calculator.
$1 million for 17 years in prison.
Actually, $1 million isn't far off. It's actually it's more than $1 million. At 3K a day, that's it's 50K a year. I think it depends on the state, Anthony, to be honest. But at 3K a day, that's almost 1.1 million a year. I don't know if that's the number though, but 100K. Also, Anthony's according to Anthony's changing his mind. I'm assuming he Googled it. 100K a year, if you're on death row. Well,
that's what Washington pays if you're wrongly accused.
Is that Washington or what is that? Because I don't think. Yeah, that's Washington.
Oh, you said 50,000 a year in Washington.
See, that's nothing.
No. I mean, that's still a decent base salary, but for all of the mental shit that you have to go through.
Yeah. I'd be going after a lot more than that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. The fact that you have to eat that food for a year.
You shorten my lifespan. Because if you're in prison, your lifespan, not only have you taken a percentage of your life, but your lifespan, I guarantee you, has been significantly shortened because of poor nutrition, poor environment, and any decent science, person.
That's the baseline. You can ask for more.
Yeah. There's a.
I feel like my life is worth a lot more than that. Other people may not feel that way.
He'll probably only get 50K a year if he.
People call me worthless all the time
because he's black, but because that's where our system works. Because our system's full of a bunch of racist assholes.